Let's do the Bobcat Shuffle.
I don't mean to be blunt when I say this, but what the hell was that? Not the way that I wanted to introduce you guys to episode number 65 of Bobcat Corner, but that's where we're at right now. This is Stephen Vitt once again reporting about the Ohio Bobcats football team. And the good news is that, yes, the Ohio Bobcats did pick up the victory over the Gardner-Webb Runnin Bulldogs yesterday, Saturday, by a score of 52-35. That was part of the good news for that. The end result was good. We won the game. And I'm happy about that. But what I'm definitely not happy about is how the Bobcats played this game, how they went about playing the game. Um, there were so many things about this game that felt off and flat. I'm going to be honest about it. And I'm going to go through the stats of this game between Ohio and Gardner-Webb real briefly. And I'll provide a link to the stats, to the scoreboard, uh, in the description box below so you guys can follow along. But basically, in a nutshell, I can say this. To a lesser degree, the special teams, although that was just early, they fixed things as the game went along. This is mainly about the defense. This is why I titled this, Hey Defense, Wake Up. Because this message is for the Ohio Bobcats defensive players. Um, what I saw in that game against Gardner-Webb, guys, if any of you guys are watching this, don't know who's going to be watching this, but if any of you on the defense for Ohio is watching this, I'm just being honest with you guys, and you'd want the fans to be honest with you. Performances like that is just not going to cut it. It's not good. To be blunt, it was crap. The performance was crap overall. Just a few things that I could point out after reading the stats. A few things that I could point out that are, in my opinion, issues with the Ohio Bobcats defense right now. Uh, I was not happy with what I saw from the defensive standpoint for the Bobcats, and they better pick things up. For the Ohio Bobcats, their defensive players, they better pick things up between now and this upcoming Saturday, September 27th, when the Bowling Green Falcons come into town, come into Athens. That is when Mid American Conference play truly begins. And we cannot allow Bowling Green to do any fraction of what Gardner-Webb just did to us when you read the stats. Let's just get the combined stats out of the way first for this game against Gardner-Webb. 327 yards overall, total yards. 327 total yards given up by the Ohio defense to Gardner-Webb in the first half alone. For the entire game, it was 480, but in the first half, 327. 168 yards was through the air, 159 yards rushing. Stuff like that is not going to get it done, guys. I'm here to tell you. And just to point it out, Nate Hampton, the quarterback for Gardner-Webb, by his standards, he had a great day. 19 of 28, 2 touchdowns, 289 yards, uh, 1 interception. But really, if you're a guy like Nate Hampton, you should be smiling right now because you had a pretty good game otherwise against an FBS opponent. But my point is, stuff like this should not be happening. We just came off a tough 3-game gauntlet following Rutgers, West Virginia, Ohio State, 1-2. And it was tough, no doubt about it. It was tough facing power conference teams back to back to back. So when you're facing a team like this, a pretty decent FCS team, I tip my cap to Gardner-Webb, by the way. They came prepared for this game. Wouldn't surprise me if Gardner-Webb makes the playoffs for the FCS level. Pretty decent team over there, but still, nonetheless, they are an FCS team. And when you have a matchup like this, you, as the FBS team, the Ohio Bobcats, you should be able to put your foot down early on a team like this and take it to Gardner-Webb. And for whatever reason, guys, I did not see it. I did not see it, especially on the defensive side of things, that's got to change. If we're going to be taken seriously this year, if we're going to be a contender for the MAC championship again this year, our defense has got to step it up and step it up quick, ASAP. So let's just go through the stats quarter by quarter as best I can. So special teams was an issue early. Had a missed PAT in the second quarter. Before that, though, Quayshawn Holmes, running back for Gardner-Webb, 8-yard touchdown run, 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, 7-0 Gardner-Webb. Then we came back, kicked a field goal, Brack Peacock, 31-yard field goal, 3:24 remaining in the first quarter. But even then, we were looking very asleep in this game. Early on, we were asleep. And Carson Grishock, hope I'm saying his name right, for Gardner-Webb, 48-yard touchdown run, broke a big run with 1:20 to go in the first quarter. That made it 14-3 Gardner-Webb. After the first quarter, I was like, what are we doing? What is going on here? This should not be. But anyway, we did pick it up finally, starting in the second quarter. Duncan Brune, shout out to him. I'm going to be saying his name quite a bit. I've been following him since last year, Duncan Brune, and I have a good feeling still about him. The guy from Germany, Duncan Brune, 2-yard touchdown run. Missed PAT, like I said, 14-9 Gardner-Webb at that point. Then C.A. Bangura got in on the act with the running game, 8-yard touchdown run, 7:55 remaining in the second quarter. And we had to go for 2 because of that missed PAT. Parker Navarro found Mason Williams, the tight end, for that 2-point conversion score. So that was good, 17-14 Bobcats. Quayshawn Holmes again for Gardner-Webb, unfortunately broke a 68-yard touchdown run, 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, put Gardner-Webb back up 21-17. Going to be talking about the defense a lot here soon. And then at some point in the second quarter, wide receiver Max Rodarte, he went down with an ankle injury. I'm hoping it's not too serious. We don't know the extent of this ankle injury yet, but he had to be taken off on a vehicle because his ankle was that bad. That was like around 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter when that happened. But back to scoring, Chase Hendricks had another huge day. Wide receiver had a 43-yard touchdown reception with 5 minutes to go, put the Bobcats back on top, 24-21. Okay. And then Bangura, C.A. Bangura again came back with a 1-yard touchdown run that made it 31-21, 10-point lead going into halftime. So at least with that, I was like, okay, we found our footing. We woke up enough for this game. And by the way, Chase Hendricks, shout out to him. He's been doing amazing as the wide receiver here, the main wide receiver for the Bobcats. For this game, he had 8 receptions for 144 yards and 1 touchdown. So great game by Chase Hendricks. So we go to the third quarter here. Let's see. Reading my notes, by the way. Yeah. Duncan Brune busted out just a 1-yard touchdown run. Previously a 20-yard run before that. 38-21 Bobcats with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. And then there was like a back and forth. In between all this, there was like back and forth turnovers on downs by both teams. It was a back and forth thing. It quickly started to remind me again of the Rutgers game where things just went back and forth. And that's another note there. Gardner-Webb on offense, to their credit, they kept going for it on 4th down. They probably took a cue from Greg Schiano, Rutgers head coach, when it comes to going for it on 4th down. Knowing how our defense is right now, I don't blame Gardner-Webb for doing it. So I think they're 5 of 6 or 5 of 7 going for it on 4th down. Again, guys, cannot have that kind of efficiency on the other side. So also third quarter, yeah, Chris Lofton, wide receiver for Gardner-Webb. Fourth quarter, 14 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Chris Lofton had a 42-yard touchdown reception for Gardner-Webb that cut the lead to 38-28. Then Bangura, thankfully, C.A. Bangura again busts out 32-yard touchdown run, 45-28. Holmes came back for Gardner-Webb with a 5-yard touchdown run, 7:48 to go, 45-35 at that point. But then there again, Duncan Broom, yeah, broke out a good touchdown run with about 4 minutes to go, 20-yard touchdown run, I think, 1 yard. There again, he had like a couple instances where it's like he both broke out a big run, then he just got short of the goal line. 1 yard touchdown run, 52-35. That is your final score. It turned out well. Good result. We won. That was the good news about it. But yeah, not the kind of game that I was expecting. And it was way more interesting than it had every right to be, considering that it was against an FCS opponent. And that worries me because if we're playing like that on defense against an FCS team, what do you think is going to happen when we start playing these other Mid-American Conference teams? You cannot afford to keep playing like this. Now, I'm going to get to these 4 issues that I'm seeing, in my opinion, about the defense in a minute here. But the overall stats: Parker Navarro, he was 18 of 27 for 290 yards in the air. Good job there by Parker. 1 touchdown in the air. 9 rushes for 72 yards. Parker Navarro still did his thing when he had to run. But the combination of C.A. Bangura and Duncan Brune in the running game, that was a good highlight. They were definitely awake in this game, thankfully. Bangura, 18 rushes for 123 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Duncan Brune, 16 rushes for 88 yards, 3 touchdowns. So that was part of the thing that I was talking about going into this season when I was like reviewing the preseason expectations for the Bobcats, what I would like to see. I would like to see more of a group effort from the running back room, a 1-2 punch at least. C.A. Bangura and Duncan Brune together. In this game, they showed it. They both showed it, you know, in the same game, and that was good to see. I like that. That was a good part of the game. But now let's get to the not so good part of this game, and I think you all can pinpoint this yourselves when you go back and watch this game between Ohio and Gardner-Webb. There are 4 issues, at least in my opinion, 4 issues that I'm seeing right now with the Ohio Bobcats defense, the entire defense, that right now I'm not liking, and I'm hoping that you guys, Ohio Bobcats defense, you guys better get it fixed soon, ASAP, because the Bowling Green Falcons, they're being led by head coach Eddie George. Um, they're not going to blink, so to speak. They're not going to wait on you guys getting your act together on defense. So with that, I'm going to go with the issues here. 4 issues I'm going to point out, showing them here on the screen. Issue number 1. We're waiting for something to happen and not attacking. And what do I mean by that? I mean this. There have been many times when opposing running backs run the ball. It seems like the front 6 especially, it seems like we just sit back and wait for something to happen. You know, my point is, once you find the running back having the ball, once you know the running back has the ball, it seems like we just sit back and wait for the guy to come to us instead of us going to him. And it's like, yeah, I know spin moves, juke moves, running back can do any of that. I get it. But when you know that you have him, lined up for a hit, just go get him, go tackle him. What is there to wait for? And there's like a hesitation, so to speak, from the defense here for the Bobcats that I'm just not getting. I'm not understanding why they're doing this. It's like when it's time for you guys to attack, you got to attack. Don't second guess it. Just attack. You know the guy has the ball, go get him. What's there to wait for? It just kind of gets on my nerves when I see that. And I've seen that for the most part for most of these 4 games, definitely 3 of them. It's got to change, guys. We have to stop waiting for something to happen and start making something happen. Because the opposing offenses, they're not going to wait for us. They're just going to do what they're going to do. We have to take it to them. So that's one issue. Issue number 2, would be we're giving up too much space. Big runs, blown coverages. We're giving up too much space with runs. Like I said, big runs, it's like we just get gashed up the middle, and it's like 10-yard run here, 20-yard run here. I just read off to you guys like 40-yard runs, 60-yard runs for touchdowns. Can't happen. You gotta keep in mind what's going on around you on the field of play. Otherwise, you're just going to get gashed all day long. And so, blown coverages, I've noticed this even dating back to last year. I'm going to say it again this year. Same thing I'm seeing. We're giving opposing wide receivers and tight ends way too much space for them to catch the football and do whatever with it. And blown coverages, it's like we're missing our assignments. We're blowing the assignments. We're allowing these receivers, tight ends just to get past us, and we're not being able to recover. And what I mean by giving up too much space, I mean this. It's like, here's us and here's them. There's like a big gap here, like 6 or so yards between, receiver and defensive back. And it's too much space, guys. I'm not saying we get like ultra close like this, but we can't have this either. You got to be able to challenge them once in a while. Sometimes get in their face, you know, at least closer to them. Giving up too much space, like 6 or more yards, it's so easy for them to catch the football. And then, of course, they gain those yards. And then you put yourselves in a hole like that for like 3rd and short where the opponent can manage it well. I'm really getting tired of giving up so much space. That's got to change on the defensive ends, on the defensive part of things here. I'm really getting tired of the space. We got to start clamping down on that. Don't give them too much space. Issue number 3. We're lacking the sense of urgency. And a note in parentheses here, the exception would be the game against West Virginia. The game against West Virginia was the only example, in my opinion, of an Ohio Bobcats defense that definitely knew what they were doing. They understood the situation. They had that sense of urgency. In the game against West Virginia, we held the Mountaineers to 10 points, just 10 points. That is the Ohio defense that I need to start seeing again going forward in the future. And the other 3 games were just not well thought of, in my opinion. We were in a shootout with Rutgers, gave up 34 points to them. Ohio State, that is what it is. So I'm probably going to give you guys some mulligan there. But this game against Gardner-Webb, really one of the instances, in my opinion, that it just pissed me off. It did, because there's really no excuse to give up that much points and that much yardage to Gardner-Webb, an FCS school. We're lacking the sense of urgency. Again, a lot of standing around. Situational football. It's like 4th down. I already said it, like 5 of 6, 5 of 7, I think, on 4th down that Gardner-Webb converted. When you have a 4th down situation, you got to find a way to stop it. You got to find a way to stop those drives, guys, because otherwise, more and more teams are going to keep going for it on 4th down throughout the year if you don't clamp down on this. So one thing I want to read right now, lacking the sense of urgency, and what I mean by that is like 1st and 2nd quarter, especially the first half. I need to see it right then and there. I don't need to see it late in the game. I'm hoping Bobcats defensive players hear this, because it's like, you got to step it up. Your sense of urgency has got to improve, and it's got to show up much earlier. I'm reading a comment here on bobcatattack.com message boards for Bobcats fans to show up and talk. Reading this in response to what I said. I'm just reading this other guy's post. Defense has been a problem all season long. Given up 30-plus points in 3 of the first 4 games. Last season, they did not give up a first-quarter touchdown until the bowl game. They've already given up 4 in 4 games. Has the team playing from behind early a lot, and opponents are 10 for 13, 83% on 4th down. 10 for 13. Keeps the defense on the field more. So I hope that resonates with you guys about the sense of urgency here. It's like fourth down plays, we got to do much better with that. And first and second quarter, I need to see a sense of urgency. I need to see more attacks. I need to see more of a clamp down kind of mentality there for the defense in the trenches and the secondary. And really, for the secondary, you guys, there's very little excuse there for the secondary because you guys are the most experienced part of the team, most experienced part of the defense. And there's like blown assignments, blown coverages, whatever you want to call it, miscommunication. You guys got to fix this. This is just not going to be good enough. It's not going to cut it throughout the year. Like I said, I need to see more of that defense that showed up against West Virginia. If I see that defense going forward, then we're going to be okay. But if I see the defense from the other 3 games, then we're in trouble. It's that simple. You have to have the sense of urgency. You have to understand the situation, especially early in the game, especially in the first and second quarters. Okay, lastly, issue number 4, we're not generating a lot of pressure. I think that goes without saying that when you watch the Bobcats play, especially in the 3 games that our defense did not look so good, we were not generating a lot of pressure, let's be honest. Up front, not a lot of pressure going on there. And blitz packages, I put that in parentheses because I'm not seeing a lot of that. I'm not seeing a lot of blitz attempts from the Bobcats defense. Probably some reasons for that. But we need to get more creative. My point here is that we need to try to be more creative with how we're attacking the opposing offense. Some blitz packages, cornerback blitzes, safety blitzes. Let the linebackers run a little bit more. Do something to keep the opposing quarterback on his toes. You got to make the opposing quarterback uncomfortable in some way. Otherwise, he's just going to bomb it down the field like every other play. It's not good. And, up front, I mean, I trust those guys up front. They're all relatively new. They're they're still learning how to, play together. This is just their 4th game playing, together as a unit. But they got to come to a resolution. They got to come to, a consensus or whatever you call it to say, okay, this is how we're going to play together. Forget about individually. This is how we're going to play together. Pius Ajugo, Anas Lukman, Nehemiah Dukes, Derek Reagans, linebackers Mikael Williams, Michael Mornar. All these guys have got to come together and work together, play together as a team. How do they complement each other? I'm seeing a lot of back and forth stuff, and there's just not enough pressure. Where's the pressure? Can I see you know 5 guys attacking, so at least occupy the entire offensive line? Not seeing a lot of that, to be honest with you. So we got to get more creative here for attacking, for blitz packages. So that's just 4 things, at least in my mind, that I'm pointing out for you guys listening to this that there are really issues for the Ohio Bobcats to address. I'm hoping they do. We have a lot of work to do. On the defensive side of the ball, we have a lot of work to do. And I'm not happy. If Bobcats players, especially on the defense, are listening to this, I just want you guys to know I'm not happy with these performances. I believe that you guys know what you need to do to fix this, and I'm hoping that you guys will just eventually rise to the occasion, wake up, and just realize that, hey, we have way more potential than this, what we've been showing. So, yeah, Bowling Green is coming to town, and they're not going to take it easy on us either. They are a MAC conference foe, and we got to treat them as such. We're starting our defense of the MAC championship here this upcoming Saturday, September 27th, and we got to start acting like it. We are the MAC champions, and Bowling Green is coming into town, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be ready. I'm not counting out Eddie George as a head coach at all. So there you go with that. That was my thing here. Wasn't so much of a rant, but I can tell that I'm just not happy about this. It's not like I want to be blunt about stuff like this, but our defense at times has just played like crap, and it's got to do better than this if we're going to make another run at the MAC championship. We got to start doing better. So, yep, that's all I can say about it. Yeah, that's going to be it for Bobcat Corner episode number 65. If you guys like this content, please give this video a like. Please share this video with your friends. Click the notification bell, subscribe, and yeah, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. I have a Ko-fi account. If you want to donate anything to me on Ko-fi, go ahead and do that. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. It says it right there on the screen there. So yeah, I'll be back with more Bobcat Corner. Hopefully things are going to get turned around here, because I don't want to keep coming back here and reviewing it like this. I need to start seeing a better sense of urgency and more togetherness, or whatever you call it, on the defensive side of the ball. That's what I need to see. So yeah, this is Stephen Vitt reporting. Hope you guys have a good day today, and take care.